Hello, what's going on YouTube? And today I'm just going to be dropping this quick Salamangreat deck profile that you just used to get first place at locals. So I'll just jump right into it. For the Salamangreat cards, I just played 3 Fire. This card's fantastic. 1 card starter, grabs the Gazelle. Usually good to open, but not great when you open it with too many other stuff. But something that is great when opened with a lot of other things is going to be that Foxy. That Foxy always being a great normal summon, just be able to pitch anything else to summon itself back, using it to pop those Cast Your Births, all sorts of other face-up stuff. Spinny, you always want to open it. This card's fantastic. You can be used as an extender, be a normal summon, be really anything, be a discard. The card's just crazy. Jaguar, another great discard off really anything, and it's also just a great normal summon as it's a 1-card heat soul. For the other 3 of us, I played 3 of that Flame Buffalo. This card is amazing. Getting easy pluses so long as you're able to open pretty much any other Cybers monster. Really is unfortunate if you open the Flame Buffalo plus 1 that doesn't really want to be in the graveyard. But like a Flame Buffalo plus a Jaguar or Spinny is a really good combo, usually allowing you to easily make that Heat Soul, getting 2 draws off the Heat Soul and 2 off the Buffalo. You're going to be seeing 4 cards at the top in addition to the 3 already in your hand. That's 7. You're looking pretty good in this scenario. I'm going to play the one of Gazelle that I would love to be able to play more of, but for some reason this card is still on the ban list. This card is basically circular, but for Salamangreats, getting that free summon and that Foolish is always good. I played one of Falco. Pretty much just have to play it. It's always going to be grabbing back any of your stuff. You can send it usually off the Gazelle. I also play the one Weasel. Weasel's going to be that main card that you're grabbing off the Salamangreat of Fire, just because Weasel is just a free extender immediately right out of your hand, so long as you've, I guess, been playing the game, because you'll want to have 2 Salamangreats in your graveyard. And while it's in the graveyard, you can summon one of the Salamangreat monsters from your grave to your opponent's field, and then bounce it back with the Mirage Stallion to return it to your hand. Going through that standard Salamangreat line, I'm ending with nearly 7 cards in my hand, just from all of the Wolf add-backs, the Mirage Stallion bounces back to my hand. You're ending on tons of cards in hand. For the Salamangreat spells, I played 1 Sanctuary and 1 Will. Sanctuary, you just have to play it. Card's good. You grab it off Balinks, helps you combo. Will of the Salamangreat, I wouldn't want to play it at too much more. I would consider playing a second one, but just, it's a free revive from Grave. There's no reason really not to play one of them. It's kind of annoying if you were to draw multiples back when I used to be playing more of them, but I really do just like the card. Sometimes you can play around the Nibiru with it. It's just a strong card. In addition, I play 3 copies of the Salamangreat Circle. This is the best Salamangreat spell, just a easy Rhoda that can be activated in the draw phase, and if you open multiple of them, it can even be an interruption, not really an interruption, but it can make your guys unaffected and get some free add-backs, and it's always able to be grabbed back off the Wolf, or if you end up going through a Falco during your combo, it can be reset off that. For other spells, honorary Salamangreat spells, 3F Signet Mining. This is going to be super easy at just grabbing your Gazelle. If you open like Signet Mining plus a Spinny, you can go Signet Mining, pitch Spinny, add the Gazelle, and Gazelle will immediately trigger to summon itself. This card is just fantastic. It hurts a lot to get ashed right here, but because it's just sad -1, but the Signet Mining is just very strong. I love this card. Just to round out the Salamangreat cards, for the traps, you're playing that one of Rage to get that pop 4 when you make the Phoenix. And the one of Roar. The card's just Solemn Judgment that you don't have to pay for. I love this card. It resets itself right out of the graveyard. When you send it off the Gazelle, going through your main combo line, you're able to end the pop 4 and that negates. Super simple and just a generally good board. Onto any of the non-engine, I'm playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. It's just the best hand trap in this deck. It's a fire. You can grab it back. Ash Blossom, super good against just every matchup. It's like okay against some of them, but it's generally just a strong card. 3 copies of Nibiru, the Primal Being. This card is really good. It's good against Unchained, it's good against Cash, it's just a generally good card. I really love Nibiru. Nibiru is also strong. It's even some of those combo decks that make the Baron, as long as you draw any other hand trap with it. 3 draw. This stops combo decks. You can stop some Kashtira hands that really want to pop off. It's pretty good against Pearly, depending on the hand. It's just generally okay card. Now that Unchained's really sliding itself into the format, I would consider maybe bumping this down, but or just not even playing it if you want to play some sort of other non-engine. But for the time being, I really like it. 3 Valor. Valor, just a good card. You can draw it as that last card off the Heat Soul. Just have it in your hand. It's a hand trap. It stops the standard stuff. Although it's definitely not as good as Imperm, as it can't be used in any of the other phases and can only be used in your opponent's turn. It's not terrible. You can normal summon it, make an Out Mirage if you're really breaking super hard. I don't mind it. It's a good hand trap. 2 of Pot of Desires. This card's basically Pot of Greed. I'm playing more than 40 cards. This is a 50 card deck, so you're having a lot more stuff to banish off of it. Pot of Desires is great. I really like being on 50. It allows me to play a lot of different non-engine. So you open a lot less multiples of stuff, and it runs under the assumption that you're going to be able to open your Salamangreat cards to easily combo. Even if you're not able to open a line to Gazelle, you can always just make Heat Soul and just get free pluses. Pot of Desires is great. It goes super well, pairs super well with this 50 card variant. I run 2 Book of Moon. It's a good card. I could be running that third one, but I opted to run 3 Book of Eclipse instead. You can cut the Book of Eclipse down to 2 and run 3 Book of Moon. You could really run them in either ratio. You could probably even cut any other piece of non-engine to run that third Book of Moon. It's not as relevant, but just to round out the hand traps, play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. This is just rounds out the 50 cards. Infinite Impermanence, always going to be a fantastic hand trap. It is good going first, it's good going second, just even if you draw it as that 6th card, just to be able to negate something on their board. I really love this card. It's fantastic. So that's going to round up the main deck for 50 cards. That 50 cards is probably the correct way to play this deck. Anyway, onto that extra deck. I'm playing 3 of the Balings. You got to play it. It protects your stuff. It's your starter. It grabs the Sanctuary. This card's fantastic. Play that one of Almirage. Almirage just for the hand traps. Sometimes you get those awkward hands on like turn 3 or so, where you got to normal summon a hand trap to get playing. I play 2 Sunlight Wolf. You can play the third. You do at minimum need to play 2, just because if your combo line gets stopped, you might want to kind of diverge into that old like 2018 Salamangreat board where you just end on the Sunlight Wolf. So it's definitely worth playing 2. I don't know if the third one was that required. For the Link 4, I played that Raging Phoenix. The Raging Phoenix is what's going to be getting you to the Rage during your main combo line and allowing you to pop 4 cards in your opponent's field. This card is fantastic. Just grabs anything you want from the deck. Gives the deck a super easy to make boss monster that isn't just a Link 2. Played the one of Mirage Stallion. It's just good. It's your standard combo line. When you summon a guy to your opponent's field off the Weasel, you can use the Mirage Stallion to bounce it back to your hand. Just free advantage. Summons from the deck. I'll usually summon the Salamangreat of Fire, and then use the Salamangreat of Fire to grab the Weasel. It's just a super easy combo line. Or if I'm opening like Foxy plus Spinny, I can use the Mirage Stallion to grab the Salamangreat of Fire to then grab the Gazelle instead. I play 1 Splash Mage. It's a good card. It makes any 2 guys into 3 guys, which makes Heat Soul, Transcode, any of your other stuff easy to get into. I played that one of Splash Mage, or the Update Jammer. I mean, I do play one of Splash Mage, but in addition, I do play that one Update Jammer just to easily go for those OTKs. Update Jammer pairs perfectly with Transcode. Transcode just getting that free revival, giving the guys target protection and extra attack. You're able to go to the battle phase and swing for AK. Or you can turn them into a Decode Talker Heat Soul that I'm usually making with that Splash Mage, though, if I'm being honest. It's just free draws. It's a plus 1, 2, sometimes 3. This card's just great. Just to round it out, the 15 card extra deck, I'm playing 2 copies of Access Code. I think sometimes that second access code is really useful. I did go into that grind game, and if that first one gets impermed and loses the attack, or just gets stopped for whatever reason, or banished off like a unicorn, I don't know why they would banish it once they know I have 2, but it's just really nice to have that second access code. It protects you from a lot of stuff that you really just don't want to be losing to, and it kind of gives you a little bit of room for mistakes, because sometimes you just miss game because you weren't thinking or something went wrong. That's going to round that at the extra deck, and onto the side deck. I played some pretty good cards for going second. I played 1 of Thrust. I would play more Thrust if I had them. The card's kind of expensive at the moment, so I'll give it a moment. Yeah, these were supposed to be the Thrusts. At least one of those tactics. You would still play 1 of them, but I would want that second one to be a Thrust, or that second Thrust, just to, really give some extra consistency. Another card to grab off the Thrust is that Harpy's Feather Duster. Just to pop some back row. It's just a nice card to have. I'll side it in against a lot of matchups, especially if I think they might side Floodgates. Triple copies of Evenly Matched. This card's really good. Outs those small Book of Moons that are sitting around in people's back row when you just go battle phase. Resolve the Evenly. They're never keeping those Book of Moons. Evenly is it's a fantastic card. It's good against the back row matchups. It clears a lot of stuff. I just like it. Now, I didn't really think this deck needed that many going second stuff. You play plenty of hand traps and a lot of board breakers in those Book of Moons and Book of Eclipses. For the remainder of the side deck, I just play Floodgates. 3D Barrier, one of the best Floodgates of the format. Beats up really well on any of the fusion decks or Pearly as an Xyz deck, and it's not terrible against Cash either to stop their Xyz. I played 3 Rivalry or Warlords. This card is great. Really strong against Cash Tira. It's really strong against Branded. It's just strong against plenty of decks that play monsters of different types. And in this deck, you play easily through it just because all of your monsters are Cybers. I played the one of Gozen and a one of Ancient Organism. I only played one of these each just because I didn't think they hit as many matchups. And for Gozen specifically, Salamangreat would rather not be under Gozen, but so long as it hurts the opponent's deck more than it hurts yours, Gozen is a strong pick. Gozen is pretty good against Unchained if you're able to get them locked into any attribute other than specifically Dark. The Super Ancient Organism is just an auto win against Branded in any of those fusion decks. These are just good Floodgates. And I think Floodgates are a really crucial part of the Salamangreat strategy, just because in the game 2 and 3, your end board is really just not that strong. It's usually, even if you are able to full combo uninterrupted, the most you're making is 4 pops, a counter trap, and maybe 2 hand traps. You're really not getting, it's not going to be too strong, and a lot of times, if your opponent has like a board breaker or a kaiju to out your Link 4, they're going to be able to continue playing, and you need some way to stop them. Floodgates being just a perfect option to give you a free turn skip, allowing you to OTK them on the follow-up. So, this deck performs super well. I'm super happy with it. I implore you guys to all try out some 50-card versions. This deck is super consistent, so we could even play more than 50, or you can play less. I implore you guys to go test out the different card ratios, and don't be stuck down to the thinking that you have to play Salamangreat at 40 just because you want to maximize your chance of drawing Gazelle. This deck is definitely playable even without the Gazelle, and that extra benefit of being able to draw less duplicates when playing more cards, I think is something worth considering. Okay then, thank you for listening to this deck profile.